I think it's safe to say that I've eaten more burgers over the past few days than is either healthy or sustainable, but it was well worth it to make this deep dive into the fast food burger. One of my main takeaways is that a lot of the big flavor differences between all of the options are really just skin deep. And with a few tweaks, it's actually been surprisingly easy to come up with a framework that I can use going forward to recreate one whenever I feel like, which honestly, after this eating experience, might be a little while. From a big picture view, these are all actually extremely similar. Beef patty, bun, American cheese, sauce, pickles, lettuce, tomato, and onion. And beyond a few outliers, the differences between all of these are basically between the bun and sauce choice. So I'll cover the similarities and differences of some of my favorites, a sauce and a delicious pickle recipe that combined take less than 10 minutes to make and do not require any cooking, as well as what I think is the best approach to building the perfect burger at home. And one of the main things I wanted to take away from this video was how to take my favorite parts of each of all of the burgers I tasted and combine them into the ultimate at-home fast food style burger. So let's dive in. My main criteria for a sauce is that it takes less than 2 minutes to make. So I combined 100 grams of mayo, 50 grams of ketchup, 10 grams of mustard, 5 grams of hot sauce, and 25 grams of sweet and sour relish. This is a sweet and slightly sour sauce that is not only delicious, but also complements my bun choice. All of these buns may or may not look very different, but there are only two differences that arguably really matter when you're choosing one at home, and that's the choice between a sweet or a savory bun. And for me, given my slightly sweeter sauce and also my pickle recipe, which I'll share in just a moment, the clear choice is the savory bun, and my go-to is a Big Marty's. This sweet sauce savory bun burger aligns with something like the Big Mac, which despite how sick it almost always makes me feel, is still possibly my favorite. But the flip side to this is something like Shake Shack, which goes for a much sweeter bun, the Martin's potato roll, and a slightly more acidic sauce. If that's something you're interested in, one of the best parts to sub out of the sauce that I shared is the relish. If I were to make a burger on a sweeter roll like a Martin's or a King's Hawaiian, I would replace sweet and sour relish with something like chopped up Cornichon. This is basically the trade-off that all of these burgers have made, except for the Whataburger, which not only has a choice of either a sweet brioche bun or a savory bun, but also just puts yellow mustard on the burger and was surprisingly delicious. One of my favorite discoveries from filming this video is stumbling on what I think is the best and easiest way to make the patty. I went with an 85-15 beef blend, weighed to 5 ounces or about a palmful, which I balled up tight like a meatball and then put directly onto my hot griddle and smashed. But unlike a real smash burger where you want the meat to be super thin and crispy, I just pressed it lightly and then seasoned it with salt. Every patty I tasted was surprisingly bland on its own, except for the Burger King, which has got this strange quote-unquote charbroiled flavor. Admittedly, not a huge fan, but it's something different. Once the burger got a deep brown color, I flipped it and immediately put 2 slices of cheese on top. The obvious choice here is American. All of the burgers I tried use this cheese, but I often choose something like a pepper jack, which also melts very well. My favorite easy cucumber pickle is to slice up a cucumber, mandolin is optional, and combine it with 50 grams of cane sugar and 10 grams of salt. Give these a stir and let them sit for 10 minutes until the sugar is melted. Then add 350 grams of rice vinegar and 100 grams of lime juice. These should start to taste extremely delicious after about 30 minutes and will last in your fridge for up to 3 weeks. You often see pickle recipes where they ask you to boil the vinegar with the salt and the sugar, and the only reason they're doing this is to dissolve the sugar, but you can entirely skip this step by pre-mixing them into the cucumbers. I am a strong believer in thinly sliced red onion, thinly sliced iceberg lettuce, and a slice of tomato on my burgers, but you can see that each of these burgers have taken different approaches. The only real outliers here being the Shack burger with no onion and green leaf lettuce, and In-N-Out with this truly savage giant slab of white onion on top. But there are some clear winners here for me in each of these categories. So I went with sauce on the bottom like the Big Mac and the In-N-Out, slab of tomato on the bottom like the In-N-Out, patty, pickles, shaved iceberg, and shaved red onion, and then sauce on top. And there's something about wrapping a sandwich that just feels nice, as well as lightly steaming the bun. It's amazing how you can eat like 10 burgers in the span of 5 days and still inhale another one. But anyway, that's all for me on this one. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.